There was nothing out here. No houses, no nothing.
Not much survived the Marshall Fire.
And that's why that's still there. They're not ready to say goodbye.
A year later, Phil Kupfner and his family's property in Superior is a museum of memories.
They don't look like much now, but they were really, really nice cars. This one over here is that old Harley that my dad gave me.
Treasures burned. A life built over 30 years became a hole in the ground.
It took a lot of years to get it to what it was.
The fire took away his home, his brother's home, even part of their business on the lot.
So I went in the house, and Vicki looked out the window, my wife, and she said, that's not dust.
And I knew it was bad.
Vicki Kupfner packed up and left.
We just decided we were gonna fight this fire, so.
What can you do? How can you help?
She knew Phil and their son Daniel would stay behind to save the house.
I just ran down to the shed where we kept all of our fire hoses.
Daniel hosed one side.
All you're thinking about is trying to save your house.
Phil's brother George sprayed another.
And I would think the flames were 12 or 15 feet tall coming over that hill in that 100-mile-an-hour windstorm.
Just solid wind, and when I turned into it, it actually knocked me off my feet.
Tree chips started burning, and then they started burning little holes in our hose.
You can kind of tell where those things hit. It's where those little wood chips hit this.
Wind killed their chances. Instead of protecting the house, Phil focused on saving himself.
My mind wasn't thinking clear enough to turn and put the fire hose on me. It just happened.
Phil and his jacket barely made it out.
This is what happened.
And I was spraying with my hose, and when the flame got, I don't know, maybe about 5 yards from him, a gust of wind came, and I lost him.
And you can tell where it went through the jacket and the beads that were hitting me. You can tell where it burned through. That's where I had the small burns.
With burns on his back and debris in his eyes, Phil ran to his truck.
Just as I started forward, there was a clear spot, and Dave was standing in the road.
His neighbor Dave stayed behind too.
Dave looked like he was a burnt hot dog. He was completely black, looked like he had no hair to me. I could see the whites of his eyes, and everything else was black. And I said, Dave, get in.
Phil drove 7 miles to a hospital, thinking his neighbor is barely holding on.
I said, I'm driving kind of conservative because I can't see. I wiped my eyes once, and they got so full of tears and water, I could not see it all, so I had to stop in the middle of the road. From there, God guided me to that hospital. I got there, I opened the door, and Dave grabbed a hold of Dave's arm because he couldn't see to walk in the door. I'm standing at the reception desk talking to the lady, and about that time I felt, and I turned, and there was a wheelchair behind me, and I never remember my butt actually hitting the chair.
Saving the neighbor's life saved his own. Phil's neighbor was treated and released, but Phil inhaled so much smoke he needed a ventilator to survive.
It was just a true blessing from God that he made it through it.
After an induced coma, Phil woke up 6 days later.
I hear my daughter's voice saying, "It's okay, Dad, it's okay." So she goes, "The bad news, it's all gone. The house, everything burned, it's all gone." And then she goes, "But the good news is everybody's okay."
The fire burned so much and ignited new perspective.
I had a different outlook. I was glad to be back here, and I was glad to be alive.
Very little is still here,
It's just stuff.
but their memories survived. Phil was given a chance to make even more.
We still have the important things, our families and the ability to do these things again.
In Superior, I'm Kelly Rinke, 9 News.
Phil was in the hospital for more than 10 days. Doctors told him most firefighters don't survive what he went through. He thinks Dave was let out in less than a week. The Kupfners plan to rebuild an original town Superior, a place to make more memories with grandkids.